street food.
Oh snap, we're back with another episode. Palatka, small town Florida. It's pretty much the countryside of Florida. Talking about farms and cows and whatnot. Not a lot in the way of fancy restaurant chains and all that, but plenty of local goodness. So last week when we were in town for the Azalea Festival, we went to this sweet diner called Angel's. It's made out of a train car, so you might stretch and call it a food truck. Although, you also might not do that. But it's cool, and it's historic, and it's Palatka, so I figured I'd show it to you. Angel's claims to be Florida's oldest diner. They've been battering their own onion rings and pattying their own burgers since 1932. There's outdoor seating so you can eat it on the street, but I wanted to show you the inside of the diner. It's narrow, like the train car it once was. What sort of memories does this place have for you, Annie?
We probably better not talk about what memories.
Ashley took me to Angel's on our first date, actually, as a part of her This Is Where I Come From tour. We had a great burger. It's hard to make comparisons between a fresh burger and a fast food burger. A place like Angel's is just so much better. I'll tell you what else Palatka has. The Ravine Gardens, the only ravine in Florida. Florida is very flat. Right next to the Armory is Florida's only ravine. It's like a little state park. We took the kids through one afternoon. Parking was an issue.
Well, usually there's an attendant, I guess, sometimes, but not today.
So
we've got an envelope system. Small towns, we trust you.
Uh-huh. Do you have 5?
I got 3, and I got some change.
Give him some free Frosties, too.
Oh my god.
Wait, you gotta close it. The money's gonna fall out.
Close.
Okay. Unsealable envelope. Whatever. We handled it.
What's a ravine?
A ravine is something like a canyon?
Kind of like a canyon.
Our kids hunted happily for flowers and birds and crawling things. We admired the live oak, and Journey handled the map like the little adventurer she is. Give me one childhood or memory from your youth.
Is it okay if they involve boys?
Wait, what kind of park is this? There's some nice hiking trails and some pretty great scenery, but don't get distracted or the gators will roll up on you. Also a lot of swamp ponds. I mean, it's Florida. I have learned the name of this flower is ironweed. It's a good-sized park. We explored for about an hour and a half. Sweet amphitheater, almost as old as Angel's Diner. The amphitheater was developed in 1939 at the junction of the branches in response to the needs of the Miss Azalea pageant. You can also drive around the circumference of the park as a small part of the William Bartram Trail.
We explored a lot of Florida, and you can follow his path, the same path he took. So we don't have like mountains you can hike, but we got like swamp you can row through. It's for serious outdoors people. I think that's enough about old diners and state parks. It's time to hit up the Blue Crab Festival. Memorial Day weekend, we invited some friends over from Gainesville to behold Palatka in all its blue crab glory. I can't believe how much more stuff there is. So what I'm noticing as a first-time Blue Crab Festival attendee is that it's a lot bigger than the Azalea Festival. So if you know the Azalea Festival from last week, you know, you saw that and you were like, whatever. This has got like more than double the amount of booths. Blue Crab is where it's at. St. John's Avenue still blocked off, but the booths also extend down the riverfront. They got games for the kids, carnival rides, a sweet pan flute guy, plus the usual toys and trinkets and colorful ukuleles. And don't forget the snacks. Snowy. I saw the Nut Hut was here.
There is a Nut Hut.
Deep fried Snickers, Twinkies, Reese's, Swiss roll, classic deep fried bacon, deep fried Oreos, and some deep fried pickles. While the kids took on the giant slide and the spinny swing thing, Chuck and I ventured into the snack lines. I'm talking about conch fritters. What is conch exactly for people who don't know?
I believe it is a crustacean, perhaps a mollusk.
It's what's in the curly shells, right?
It is the curly shells one.
Or a hush puppy with some crustacean in it. I'm talking about curly fries for the kids. I'm talking about a crab cake sandwich. Award-winning crab cakes, friends. This slider was $6. This is real good. It's spicy, and I am not surprised this wins awards. And of course, blue crabs, fresh caught that very morning. blue crabs are hard to eat. When you try to eat it, it's very clear, you know, they probably didn't want to be eaten. I know most things probably don't want to be eaten, but blue crabs make it real hard for you. I'm no expert in crab consumption, clearly. It just kept defying me, and you know, you're reaching into its body, you're digging out meat. Maybe not as graphic as rabbit head, but that's only because people tend not to have pet crabs. Gnats were flying all around me. I probably ate a bunch of gnats while I was just trying to get at the meat of the thing. I mean, I'm glad that I ate blue crab at the Blue Crab Festival, but I was still hungry after. Are you homegrown Floridian?
I am 8th generation Floridian, thank you very much.
Oh my gosh.
So I know me some shade.
I mean, it was so hot. Memorial Day in Florida can be anywhere from warm to extremely hot. We downed all the fresh squeeze we could afford, but the heat was still getting to us. I hope you've enjoyed this tour of Palatka through the lens of snacks and festivals. Does your hometown have a big annual festival? Maybe it has more than one. Let me know in the comments below. More snacks next week. Until then, keep eating it on the street. Watch out for the parasites. Street food. That crab looks happy.
Standing on the bodies of his fallen brethren, he has done his job. He will get paid.
He's conquered.
At the cost of his soul, his pocketbook profits.